Hello and welcome to Yahoo Power Players. I'm David Curley of ABC News, and joining us today is the author of a book called Going Clear. Lawrence Wright, it's a pleasure to have you with us. We're here to talk about not only your book, but a new documentary on HBO.
I was deeply convinced that we were going to save the world.
There is no logical explanation other than faith.
Before we get into some of the details, can you tell me what Scientology is?
Scientology is supposed to be a technique that was developed by L. Ron Hubbard. The idea is that it's a step-by-step ladder to spiritual enlightenment. And if you follow the techniques, you will purge your mind of fears and neuroses. Then you'll be enlisted in this cause, which is to clear the planet, to save the planet and keep it from destroying itself.
Those who join usually come in, it sounds like, to get bad memories out of their mind. But as they progress up and they get to a certain level, they learn some pretty unusual theories of L. Ron Hubbard.
Paul Haggis was one of the figures that I talked
Film
to.
director.
Yeah, and Academy Award winner, and he was in the church for 35 years, and they gave him a locked briefcase which he latched to his wrist and went into a room that was locked, and then he opened up the briefcase, and inside, in Hubbard's handwritten script, is the story of the origin of the universe, which is the Xenu story of a galaxy far, far away and back in time, and how people were shipped on airplanes, dropped in volcanoes and blown up with hydrogen bombs. And Paul read it and thought, what? It occurred to him that this is an insanity test. If I say I believe it, they'll think I'm insane and kick me out. But it turned out that wasn't true. Many religions have many wild and exotic belief systems, and people don't necessarily believe it. They associate themselves with it. And Scientology offers a lot of people a community and a cause, a purpose in life, and it helps. You know, many people, when they go through their auditing, which is their therapy, many people say they are assisted. You know, they've gotten something out of it. I'm not doubting that, and I'm not condemning their beliefs.
As he progresses up the line toward greater spiritual freedom, he learns that there are wrong ways to go about things and right ways to go about things.
L. Ron Hubbard's an interesting character. He served in the Navy. You dug up some of the records from his military service in which he would tell stories that weren't backed up by his actual record.
A story he told was he had been blinded and crippled by his service in World War II. Now, he was not blind and he was not crippled. He had conjunctivitis. But he told this story that he was so badly injured that he had to heal himself with these techniques that he developed into what he called Dianetics, which later became the basis of Scientology.
Read Dianetics, America's #1 self-help bestseller.
It becomes a very secretive religion, and it really battles back against its critics.
David Miscavige wrestled control of the church after the death of the founder, L. Ron Hubbard. I talked to people who said they were personally beaten by him. He's been very abusive, and many other people who witnessed such attacks.
Allegations so outrageous, a federal judge dismissed them as baseless.
The Church of Scientology has produced a series of online videos disputing many of the claims in the book Going Clear and the movie. In a statement to ABC News, the church says the book is grossly inaccurate and that the movie is bigoted propaganda. It says the allegations that Miscavige struck people are false and come from a small group of former members who were ejected from the church for misconduct. The statement goes on to say that allegations that L. Ron Hubbard inflated his injuries in World War II are false, and Wright's characterizations about Scientology are inaccurate.
Let's talk about celebrities. John Travolta was a member before he really became famous. Yeah. Tom Cruise is a member and has kind of become the recruiter, poster boy. Why does the religion want to have celebrities involved like this?
L. Ron Hubbard understood that America really does worship celebrity. The idea that famous people are associated with this church adds credibility to it, and it makes people think that Scientology must be responsible for their success. That's the reason that I feel that these celebrities now have a certain moral responsibility to demand change, because they've been used for decades to sell Scientology to other people, and they succeeded.
Lawrence Wright, thank you very much for joining us. It's been quite a privilege to speak to you about your book,
David.
Going Clear, and the new documentary coming up on HBO. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Been a pleasure.
And thank you for joining us as well. I'm David Curley for Yahoo Power Players and ABC News. We'll see you the next time.